All right, and welcome in to the Football is King podcast, guys. It's such a good day. We have actual football to talk about, meaningful football games.
Come on.
I know we said it last week after week 0, but no one gives a crap about week 0. We had actual week 1 of college football, um, and we're gonna get there, but not yet because we always gotta have a little fun BS at the beginning of the episode. We were talking about this a little bit. Pre-podcast, doing a little prep. But my first question is, and Shane, you were not here for this, but I would love your opinion. Is it possible that the Arizona Cardinals are going to have the number 1 and number 2 overall draft pick this year because they have the Houston Texans first round pick?
Would that be the first time ever?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
They almost did. Well, Houston almost did it this year.
Yeah, I mean, Houston did what? 2 and 3, 1 and 3,
Yeah,
2 and 3.
two
They
and
did
three,
back to
two and
back,
three.
right?
Yeah.
I think if you're a Cardinals fan, just because of how bad your team is going to be, you're not even really rooting for the Cardinals. You're watching the Houston Texans games and rooting for the opponent.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you're going for the Caleb Williams draft.
Just give up this
And
year.
if I am the general manager, I want Caleb Williams with my first overall pick. And I want to trade out of the second overall pick and get a good haul.
Bears method.
I want,
Yep.
and I don't want draft picks. I want proven players because Arizona for, I don't know, the past 5 years has just been the retirement team because everybody wants to go live in Scottsdale.
Here's the problem. Yeah, that's true. Here's the
Like,
problem though.
seriously, their team is so old and so
What's
shitty.
the
Like,
deal
they're
with
terrible.
Scottsdale though? Why does everyone want to go to Scottsdale?
The weather
Apparently it's
there is
beautiful.
really nice.
It's in Arizona. I don't get why
I've
people say
never
it's
been, but
hotter
The
in
what?
I
LA.
mean but it's as they say a dry heat.
But it's also only hot during the summer. During the winter, like, it's supposed to be
It's cold,
incredible.
right? I don't know. I think the problem that the Cardinals will have is for some reason these GMs value draft picks very highly, which I get it just from like a you get a cheap body standpoint,
That's why they're all
but
so
also
terrible at
yeah,
their
but it's like
job.
if you have the second pick and the first pick, you can utilize the second pick and get somebody good out of it. Hopefully that's proven.
Yeah.
Uh, Okay,
I'm
I
I'm
I know
trading it
that
all.
I know this is why we're not here for this podcast, but when it comes to weather in Scottsdale, Arizona, during September, they do got a high of 99, which is a bit on the high side.
Well, we're used to that.
But October through December, high of 86, high of 75, high of 68.
Oh, that's nice.
That's some pretty nice weather for now. In the summer months, it's averaging in the hundreds all the time, but you don't if you're, if you're a football player, you got your home away from homes.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah, that is a little warm.
yeah, but Cardinals camp isn't going to do camp in Scottsdale. They're going to go somewhere nice. So you're not going to be there in the summer. So, like, I mean, in the winter months, high is 67, high is 72, high is 76. It's pretty doable.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I'll take that. So yeah, there you go. But I think that's something to watch for this year with if CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans can't figure it out, the Cardinals, I mean, if there's a player on the defensive side of the ball or a wide receiver or something that, really shows up this year in college football that can go along with Caleb Williams, like the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase connection
Marvin
shows that
Harrison Jr.
you can turn around your franchise pretty freaking quick. Players in the skills position are having a lot easier transition from college football to professional football nowadays.
And you get them both on the cheap.
You can get them both for cheap for 5 years, 4 years. Caleb Williams and every
Yeah.
single player from Colorado for cheap.
Yeah. How long does Travis Hunter have? He's got one more year he's got to play, or can
He's
he
got to
come
stay
out
one more
this
year.
year?
He's gonna say one more.
The only problem is I don't know that he's the second
No.
overall pick because he's not going to play both sides of the ball in the
Yeah.
NFL.
Trap, and I say, I'd rather be the master of one trade than a jack of all trades. That's for sure.
Dude, if I'm like the Colts or even if I'm the Saints, I'm like, give me that guy, let him play corner and wide receiver. I'm fine with it.
You'll
Go
get
do
killed in
your
the NFL.
No,
he played
yeah.
130 snaps. He'll get murdered.
Yeah.
I don't need him
he's
to
not
play
he's
that
not
many snaps.
he's not good enough to play both
The
sides of the ball.
the problem is in college you can kind of you're not putting him on the best receiver to cover. You can kind of hide him a little bit on the defense and he can jump out and make a play because he's that freak athlete.
Yeah.
The NFL, if you do that, they'll just run right by you.
Yeah,
It's also I know that it's a Tuesday after week 1, but let's not overreact too much about the Colorado Buffaloes and the hype train. I know that the hype train has already taken off.
oh
Oh,
yeah.
it's fully
But-
taken off.
But let's
Dion
relax.
kept his receipts.
Yeah.
Dion's got receipts.
I almost just because of it, one of my bets I was going to take Nebraska +3, but that
That's-
seems terrible.
Nebraska's
that's
so bad.
That's
though.
what I was saying. We were talking about that beforehand too. Of if Colorado was playing any half decent football team,
Oh, I'd take
that would be the lock of the weekend.
yeah.
But because they're playing Nebraska, they were the 13-10 game against Minnesota. Like, I mean, just like they have no offense. Like,
I won't be surprised if Colorado wins by 21 points just because they can light it up.
yeah, but if
Well,
Nebraska scores 28 plus points on Colorado's defense, you got to know right now Colorado's defense is awful.
Yeah, terrible.
I'll give you this. If Colorado comes out and beats Nebraska by 15 points or whatever, Colorado State the next week, throw down the farm on Colorado State the next week.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be 40-point favorites on
I'll
Colorado
say not
State.
the money line, but definitely take them against the spread.
They will be 40-point favorites.
Yeah.
Although Vegas is pretty smart because after that game, you would think they would make Colorado like 9 to 10-point favorites. They stuck it at 3. And honestly, it moved down.
Well, we still don't really know what they are. Like they played one.
No, it's 1 week.
Oh, we know
It's
that
1
they're
week of college football.
athletic. That's what
Yeah,
we
they
know.
They are
yeah.
We know
athletic.
they are athletic.
They are athletic, but and I think we'll probably look back and at the end of the year and go TCU's not that good of a football team.
Mm-mm.
But
They weren't that good of a
Here's what
football
I
team
will
last
compare
year.
it to. Here's
No.
what I will compare it to. 2014, Kenny Trill runs
Oh,
out
yeah.
against South Carolina.
Yep.
South Carolina was number 10 in the nation, I believe. A&M was like number 23 or something.
Yep.
And they ran out and they kicked them dead. But it turns out South Carolina was not a good team.
Yeah.
A&M imploded itself.
We're good at
That
that.
same possibility could happen.
We're
But
really
this is why
good
we say
at imploding.
preseason for college football rankings is at or rankings up until about week 4 are stupid to begin with because you don't know what's going to happen with any of these teams.
The best thing
had to take a screenshot of the top 25 last week and then take a screenshot of it at the end of the year. There'll be 10 teams
13
still in the
teams
top
on it.
25.
Yeah, probably half of them. I will say this. I do appreciate Dion that the TCU hype situation is just dead. We just don't even have to act like it this year. We all knew it last year. But we just couldn't prove it because they had a clutch quarterback.
It was somehow the purple teams last year, man. TCU and Minnesota, they both sucked. They were both bad football teams.
And we all knew it.
They were just
We
so
all knew
lucky. And everyone knew that they sucked and they just kept winning. And it was
both
like
teams
finally,
were the exact same.
Yeah, and they
kept
both got
winning
exposed.
close games.
And they both got
kept winning
exposed.
close
And
games.
it was great. All right. BS topic number 2. According to the national sports media, there are no tight ends in the NFL because they all just keep saying, well, they're not really a tight end. They're a wide receiver. Like if you go and look at all of them, like Kelsey, Waller, Hawkinson, Pitts, Ingram, Knox, Gesicki, go on. Basically, the only player that the national media considers a tight end is George Kittle, and everybody else that is a good tight end is just a wide receiver. Like,
Which
I don't
is
get that argument.
no,
Well,
I don't either. I think it's failure of them to like move on from the fact that it's not like Tony Gonzalez, like
Yeah.
what Dallas Clark.
Yeah, but also like Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates cannot block.
No, they would have been. They
They were in a pass pattern every play.
Yeah.
They just started closer to the offensive tackle. Maybe.
They started.
Maybe.
I think the tight end position has just changed, and that's fine. It's just more athletic dudes.
It's just so insane to me that they're like, yeah, these guys, you can't call them a tight end. And it's just like, all right.
Well,
That's
it's
exactly
the same
what they are.
If
That's
they
also
use
my
that-
list. If I'm playing fantasy football, those are the guys that I draft.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And my thing is, if you want to say there's no such thing as a tight end, and it's just because they don't want to keep up with the times, wide receivers are way different now than they were 15 years ago. I mean, everyone's different. We're getting more athletic specimens of human beings. It's just
give me Dalton Schultz, tight end extraordinaire.
I do feel like back in the day, tight ends were like they were offensive linemen that could catch. Now it's
tight ends
and run.
Tight ends back in the day were offensive linemen that only went out for pass patterns inside the red zone.
Yeah.
Because they're big and they're tall.
I feel like Gronk is the one that changed most of it.
Gronk
I know that
big old dude too.
No, I mean, you go back. Gronk was just a better version of Antonio Gates and Tony Gonzalez, but like
those two started.
That's existed for forever. That there's these guys that hey, it's third down or red zone. We need the ball to be
They're going to make the catch.
They're the guys that are going to do it.
Well, yeah, because it's not like throwing the ball up to Randy Moss, which was a pretty good bet in itself. Yeah. But you've got a guy like Antonio Gates or Tony Gonzalez or Gronk, where they're also taller, can jump, and they're just bigger than anyone that's guarding them. So
yeah, they're gonna run to the sticks. They're gonna box out. They're gonna turn around and they're gonna catch the ball because they got good hands.
I'm pretty sure I heard today that Travis Kelce would be the 27th highest paid wide receiver in the league.
That's sad.
Is that true?
Because he's paid as a tight end and he's paid poorly for a tight end.
I think that's gonna have to change at some point.
It will, but as Kelce said on his podcast, like, I've made enough money. Let's go, Chris Jones. We're trying to win another Super Bowl. Like, we're taking one for the team. And eventually, I think Mahomes and Kelce's plan is eventually, while they're in this window right now, they're going to take less money and try to win a Super Bowl. And then and win as many as they can. And eventually, when they're outside the window, the two of them are going to say, all right, Kansas City, you're a small market. You used to suck for forever. We made you good. We brought you some Super Bowls. Now let's go back to being terrible, but pay me a crap ton of money. And that's what's going to happen.
And Kansas City is going to have to do it too.
Yeah. And all of us
Kansas City fans
will gladly be like, yes, yeah. We won 2 Super Bowls. I'm already thrilled. We can suck for the rest of time, and I will be thrilled.
You will always have those 2 Super Bowls.
I remember going 3-13. I remember it. It was bad.
I remember Trent Green.
I remember it.
Hey, don't you put bad words on Trent Green. He was average at best.
I remember Dick Vermeil.
Hey, whether I was a Kansas City fan or not, I remember it too because I watched it every Sunday.
I remember the years with Larry Johnson being the only competent football player on our team.
He was so good that
him having like 40, he had like 40 carries per game.
Oh, and my boy Jar Jar Charles.
How dare you? How dare you?
Speaks like Jar Jar Binks.
Currently owns the highest yards per carry out of any running back in NFL history. Put some respect on Jamal Charles.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Hey, wait. Speaking of the Chiefs,
dude, let's not talk. Don't talk about it. Nope, don't talk about it.
Not Kelce.
I don't want to talk about anything Chiefs related. It's all sad.
No, this is really this is sad too. Rest in peace to this guy's season tickets. Has he been charged?
Oh, Chiefsaholic? Oh, Chiefsaholic's
he's
going
gone.
to prison. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's real
He got
gone.
caught.
Yeah,
They caught him.
They caught him Red Pod, I guess, is how you would say it.
Yeah,
Wolf
he's in
Buns.
solitary. They're not giving it a chance anymore. That dude's gonna go rob another bank.
Yeah.
I think that guy should be what's it called when they can let you out?
Bail?
Pardon. He should be pardoned.
If Trump wins, he's gonna pardon Chiefsaholic and every January 6th.
Hey, add that
Stormer.
to our topics that we have discussed now of future presidential debate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, hey, I will pardon Chiefsaholic /
You've got my vote. You've got my
You've
vote.
got
right.
Kansas
That's
City's
it.
vote all of a sudden.
Yep. There we go. Once again, the Football is King podcast is solving the political issues of the United States. Good for us. All right. I do have a serious BS topic to talk about, and I think it's very interesting to me. So I've been listening to some stuff about college football, trying to get myself more informed because college football is not my biggest forte because whatever. But I am intrigued at the ever-changing landscape of college football. And now that the transfer portal is a big deal, and teams can go from being very bad to very good overnight, which we have talked about on past episodes. Do college football programs need to hire a director of player personnel or whatever you want to call it? Because you can fire coaches so often, but these are the types of players we're trying to recruit / also get out of the transfer portal. Very Colorado-esque, right? Colorado went after just athletes. They were just like, I don't care if you're smart. I don't care if you're a good person or anything like that. I just want the most athletic people, and then we will coach them how we want them to play. Because, right, Coach Prime probably not going to be at Colorado for very long. Maybe not.
I don't know. I could see him staying there just to be spiteful
until Florida State calls.
I don't think that will happen.
If he gets a Power 5, he's leaving for sure.
I think Florida State had the opportunity, and he was mad that they didn't offer him the first time.
And he seems like he can be a pretty spiteful.
That's what I think. But I don't think Florida State. I really don't think he'd go back. He said something this weekend about they asked him if he was
does he need the money?
A Seminole, and he was like, nah.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so he goes to the University of Miami just to spite Florida State.
Now that would be something to talk about.
I mean, he's gonna go. The Pac-12 is dead. He's gonna go somewhere.
Well, Colorado's going to Big 12.
The Big 12 is dead.
You said it, not me.
I mean, he's gonna go enjoy playing UCF every year? Good for you. He wants to be with the big dogs, and he wants to prove that he's the biggest dog.
I saw LSU people already saying they need to go after him.
I'm just saying.
I think that you've got to have someone. I do agree with that. You got to have someone whose full-time job is to one, look at the portal, because what is it that there's thousands of players in the portal at one time.
There's always
and then
legitimately thousands.
Predict who's going to be in the portal so that you can get ahead of the game and get ready to recruit them, because doing yourself a disservice if you don't.
I listened to an interview. Shoot, what is his name? I don't remember. But he's an offensive coordinator in college football. And I did not understand that the coordinators are the ones
they do a lot of the recruiting.
That do all the recruiting. So
except for the big dogs.
Even for a lot of the big dogs, like the coordinators get to hey, these are
but Jimbo's showing up if you're going to
sorry. But the coordinators are the people that are hey, I'm looking at this player, I'm looking at this player.
Texas A&M.
Jimbo, go talk to these people. But
Elijah Robinson is the guy getting all these guys.
College football programs fire coordinators all the time. And so they're right. So Jimbo's been the head coach at A&M for 3 years now? 4 years? I don't know.
No, this is year 5 or 6.
Year 5, whatever. However long it's been. How many coordinators has he had to where
they hired a guy this year as the quarterback coach or something. And his not even a coach. He's just there to recruit.
So correct, but like all these guys are going and recruiting who they want, but then Jimbo and Ross Bjork are firing these guys because our offense sucks or our defense sucks or whatever the thought is. So then it's the classic UT conundrum, right? The University of Texas had this conundrum that they keep getting all these new head coaches that don't have their recruits, but these head coaches keep getting fired before their recruits. So do college football programs need to start having a director of player and coach personnel where like, hey, I'm going to keep recruiting these types of players. And if our head coach doesn't work out, I'm going to go get me a head coach that still fits the same sort of system. It might not be exactly the same, but at least he's used to coaching these types of players so that it works out fine.
I think the coach would not be down with that. That'd be the only trouble.
I think we got to adapt to change, gentlemen.
But you see it at Duke. You see it at Duke.
Yeah.
Tyler Santucci, Mike Elko, both A&M assistants, go to Duke. And what? You saw probably 3 dudes from A&M on that roster now?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying like players have to follow their coaches or whatever. I mean, it usually helps because, hey, this coordinator really liked me. I fit his scheme, whatever is a good strategy. But I'm just saying like, there needs to be an overall style of football, right? If you're Alabama or Georgia, for example, right? Your director of player and coach personnel is we are going to be big, fast, stronger than everybody. And so those are the players we're going to go get. We're going to go get our 5 stars, which I know every college can't do this, right? So then UTSA has to go, what is our player personnel that we're going to have? What does our average player need to look like that we're going to be able to continue to be successful? Where, our coach, right, especially I think if you're at small schools, right, we have a successful season, our coach is going to get poached.
Yeah.
Immediately. So we need to have another coach that we've been already looking at that fits the same kind of mold with the players that we already are going to have.
I could see it at small programs. I could see it at smaller programs. The problem is like at an A&M or Alabama, Georgia, LSU, whatever, you're not poaching your coach most of the time.
No.
You're fired. If your coach is leaving, he's getting fired.
Yeah. If you're at the biggest of the bigs, though, you still kind of need it because, right, if we have a down year, I need someone who's already been thinking about this. You need to have someone whose job is, hey, if Jimbo sucks this year and we got to buy him out for $66 million, which is ridiculous. Like we also need
Bimbo shirts come out.
We need someone to fill in, and we need it to be a big name that is available that will come to us.
The problem is you'll never convince Nick Saban like, oh, we're gonna have a guy that's overall over recruiting, independent from you. Nick Saban is hiring that dude, whoever it is.
Yeah.
What you're describing is not a director of player personnel or whatever. That is called a GM.
Correct.
Which Vanderbilt has that.
So
Vanderbilt legit has a general manager.
I was thinking more of I think it definitely works better with
what's his name?
Smaller teams than it does big teams. It's definitely a different. It's a European.
Barton Simmons.
It's a European sports model. But yeah, sure. If we're gonna go with the American sports model, we need a general manager for sure.
Vanderbilt did it. They hired a guy that was like the leader of like some recruiting website, and they call him the GM.
See,
just because he had those built-in relationships.
I know that recruiting is a big part of it, but in college football, but I need it to be more than just recruiting. I need there to be a philosophy and a strategy. And I guarantee you, looking at these teams recruiting, there's no philosophy or strategy. They look at this guy has this many stars, so I want him.
Yes.
I think with quarterbacks,
they don't fit the scheme. There's so many let's look at the University of Texas. I love looking at the University of Texas. They have 3 highly recruited quarterbacks. Not a single one of them fits the same mold as the other one. They're all completely different. It makes no sense.
That makes 0 sense. Yeah, it's stupid.
Texas is the prime example of this, actually, now that you're saying this. I believe I saw the other day, they got like this 5-star player, right? I think it's a defensive lineman, and they're saying, "Oh, this kid's going to be the best defensive lineman there ever was."
Mhm.
The dude's like 6'2".
Colin Simmons, is that his name? Colin
Might have
Simmons,
been. I forget. It might
whatever
have
his
been
name.
Colin Simmons.
They called him the best recruit in UT history.
Well, they
over
got
Vince Young.
they say that with every player. But
No,
they
haven't said
they got
they
some
haven't said
dude.
someone's better than Vince Young in a long time.
They got some dude that legit was like a defensive player, and I think he was like 6. He might have been 6 foot, like weighed like $185 or something stupid like that. And I was like, okay, he's a 4-star player because he's playing at a tiny high school in East Texas or something.
He's
It's like
playing
you
a
just
bunch of
recruited
white.
him. You just recruited him because he was a 4-star player based on some recruiting websites telling you that.
Hey, this is I have been on this train forever. Whoever is giving out these stars is the biggest buffoons I have ever heard of in my whole entire life. It don't take much to go watch these kids. They don't evaluate who they're playing. They evaluate what they do, and you've got
They
to
evaluate on
who they
potential.
play.
That's the problem.
It's all potential, yes.
It's all about potential. But like I would say Alabama is the opposite, right? How many years now in a row has and you can even go back before then. You can see a clear paradigm shift, but how many years in a row has Alabama's quarterback fit the same profile?
Yep.
They are a good runner that's an average thrower.
Yep.
Since Blake Sims came on the scene.
And then before that, right, it was always tall, white, try to be an NFL quarterback.
Yep, throw the ball. Well,
Saban has had, this is what I want, and so this is what I recruit. It could Alabama have gone out and got a Quinn Ewers or a Cade Klubnik who were really, really highly recruited? For sure.
Yeah.
But they didn't fit what
the mold
Saban wants right now, or whoever is in charge. But we're just going to assume it's Nick Saban. Yeah. And so they didn't even go after those.
This is why Nick Saban sets himself apart. Nick Saban's smart. He knows he doesn't need a all-star quarterback. I need a serviceable guy that can run when I get pressure, and I'm gonna have a top 3 in the country receiver core. So can you make
until this year?
Yeah, but in general, I'm gonna have the best receivers or some of the best receivers. So I need you just to make 5 throws a game. That's it. That's all you got to do. The rest of the time, just drop it down. Here you go.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, that's pretty accurate actually. Alabama needs to hit 5 deep balls per game. Other than that, check it down under 5 yards and get yards.
5 yards, 5 yards and go. That's it. Let our blockers get out in front of us and go. That's it. And if you get pressure, hit the corner and go. Hit the corner and go. And he's been great at it.
They used to be able to just run past everyone. I don't know if they can do that this year.
We'll see. We're gonna find out Saturday.
Yes, we are.
All right. So that was just it's an interesting thing. I know that here on the Football is King podcast, we are currently always revolutionizing football and thinking of the future. And I think it's something that hey, Texas A&M, if you would like to, we could do a 4-man or 3-man committee, and we could be your directors.
Oh, we'll split $250 a year. We'll split we'll split $325 a year.
Dude,
and guess what?
I'll split $250 a year. Shit, I mean, I don't know. That's a pay raise for me.
I can guarantee you we could have a better football program than we've had the past 10 years.
I don't know about that.
We'll get it going. We will get the boys humming.
But yeah, I just think it's something that especially like the small teams need to start thinking about, because especially now, the way that the transfer portal and coaching is going, like any small school that has any success, their coach is going to be immediately plucked to some Power 5 program, or I guess it will be Power 4 now. Is that what we're going to call it? Because the Pac-12 is dead. But
Texas State's
because someone's
gone.
Texas
State's going to be gone.
Texas State's coach after 1 win has already been hired.
He's still, well, I will say he's probably still too young, but he's pretty much sealed himself.
He's going
a job at some point in time.
What are you
he's
talking
probably
about?
going to get hired by Baylor.
Year. He's going to Clemson next year.
He's probably going to Baylor.
Dabo ain't going nowhere. I hate Dabo, but he ain't going nowhere.
I guarantee you that guy, after 1 win, has already found himself a job.
We know he played at Baylor, or his dad played at Baylor.
There you go. He's going to be the Baylor head coach.
It's possible.
right? Or he's going to go coach at Houston or all these teams that are now in the Big 12 that, are a Power 4 conference, even though they all are going to suck. Compared to other schools, they might win a game or two, but
Oh shit.
well. So yeah, I think that they just need to be aware of that. All right. There's 30 minutes, exactly 30 minutes on BS conjecture. Now let's get to the good stuff. Week 1 college football. Duke beat Clemson. What?
Do we get to dog on Dabo? Is this a segment where we get to say that Dabo is? I do not.
That's what we're gonna start with.
I do not listen to Paul Feinbaum very much. Actually, the other day, I've been home, had a new baby, so I've been watching random crap on TV. So I said, I'll flip over the Paul Feinbaum show. First off, the most terrible show I've ever watched 30 minutes of in my whole entire life. It is the worst show I've ever heard of.
You didn't enjoy it?
Oh, it was terrible. I mean, just the whole situation, his goofy, malnourished looking ass with his suit and tie. And
he doesn't even have to say anything. The callers get on there.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Paul, and we gotta get Jalen Milroe running out deep, Paul. What do you think about that?
How do you get a bazillion dollars hosting a daily show where all you do is let inbreds call into your show and say stupid shit? Like,
that's how, dumb. Man. Have you ever heard of my guy Jerry Springer?
Yeah, I actually watched Jerry Springer the other day, and I said I forgot how great this show is. People
love looking at people that are trashy or listening, I guess, in this scenario, on television so that they feel better about themselves. Right? People watch Paul Feinbaum and they hear these idiots call in and they're just like, what an idiot. I'm so much smarter and better than they are.
Well, I was at the general store in Temecula, Alabama, and I was talking to some old heads, and they was telling me about the days in 1945. It's like, golly, get on.
I hate that show. I used to watch Intervention, and I used to tell my mom used to always say, "Why do you watch Intervention?" I said, "Mom, so then I can feel better about myself." I never found myself needing to go on Intervention, so it makes me feel good about myself.
What did Paul say about Dabo?
Oh, Paul said Dabo is dead. It's been a downhill slide for a couple years, but he's officially at the end of his reign. And I thought, wow, this is the first time I ever agreed with.
Would you like to know why Dabo's dead?
Because he's not a good coach.
No, he's okay. He's not a good coach. He's not a good X's and O's coach. He is a good recruiter, but he refuses to use the portal. So you're playing Duke, right? Duke has a guy that's in his 7th season of college football. That's a grown man playing against 18-year-olds.
Yep.
Dabo will not do it, as well as Dabo is a hater of NIL. All these players want the NIL money. You might as well just live with it. You can hate it all you want, but you got to live with it.
And then Paul did say, which I agree with too, is his little rant at the podium at the end of the game was the most stupidest and childish thing he's ever heard. He said he's just making excuses for himself, which is true. I mean, he straight up went to the podium and said, I would have never expected to lose a game like this. No, you got your butt whipped. Like, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, literally, Duke dominated them fools.
Yeah, you got your butt whipped.
Dominated is a strong word.
I don't ever think that. I think they got dominated.
It wasn't even close. Yeah, I think it wasn't even close.
It could have been close.
Could have been closer.
You turn the ball over. I understand. Their only touchdown came off of muff punt, but they did turn the ball over twice in the red zone, which those are points change games.
Agreed.
So,
but Clemson's offense never looked like they were doing a whole lot.
I'm not saying that it was always going to be a close game. I'm just saying that Duke dominated them is a strong phrase.
I'm a Dabo hater, straight up. I hate Dabo. I think he is the most self-righteous hypocrite that's ever existed.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
And every time I see him run down, thank Lord this was in Durham, but every time I see him run down that hill,
I want his knee
in front of his players aren't even coming out yet, and that man is running full speed down that dang hill. That makes me so mad.
He has to, because if you tried to run with them, he would get trampled.
Dude,
that is the Dabo
show. Okay, let's do some analysis. That hill is very steep.
And
it is. But he's running to the 40-yard line, 50-yard line.
That's fine, but once you get going down that hill, you can't stop. So, like, if he was trying to run with his players, he would be Mufasa, and the wildebeest would run him over.
Dabo loves himself way too much.
I agree with you, but like the hill. I'm not going to die on that hill, but Dabo would die on that hill.
That hill makes me so mad.
I ain't gonna lie. Every time I see him run down that hill, I just pray that like a sniper takes his knee out and he.
I want him to pull a hammy.
He's gonna pull an MCL going down the hill, or I'm afraid. I mean, he doesn't look that old, but I mean, he's getting up there in the age that that hill is a health concern. They better bump up his health insurance.
Here's the thing with Dabo. Dabo is never really like. I mean, Trevor Lawrence was already like pretty much a finished product by the time he got to Clemson.
Was already there.
Yeah,
Deshaun Watson was basically the same when he got there. Todd Boyd was basically there.
Disagree on
the quarterbacks recently have never gotten better throughout their time there. DJU never got better. Cade Klubnik, the jury's out.
No, but then DJ goes and throws 5.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Okay. All right, but in Cupcake week number 1, he throws 5 touchdowns. Let's see how he goes. Let's see where he goes from here.
Did he ever throw 5 TDs in a game at Clemson though?
He did when he went, or he didn't throw 5 touchdowns, but I believe he played really well. Like the Notre Dame game, the year before when Deshaun Watson got suspended or something, he actually looked pretty good. That actually kept A&M out of the playoff, but he actually looked pretty good and then never looked that good again.
Well, you want to talk about Notre Dame?
Whoa, hey, don't jump ahead of my schedule.
No, I'm not talking about Notre Dame. No, why did people at LSU think that Brian Kelly was a good coach?
Because Brian Kelly has traditionally been a decent coach. He's not the best.
He played a cupcake schedule every year at Notre Dame. I don't think I wouldn't. I'm sorry. I'm out on Brian Kelly 100% too.
I am also
one of the LSU fans.
I think everything has passed him by, but Brian Kelly at one point in time was a very good coach.
He's a weird fit at LSU. He's probably a good coach if he stays at Notre Dame.
I mean, he doesn't fit LSU because he tries to fake accents and things like that. Like, it's just like,
how do you do the LSU? How do you do? I'm from LSU.
Like,
he said, "This is for me and my family."
Yeah.
Like, what?
I was like, I mean, he's just
me and my family.
He's a weird guy
walking around. Like, what? You don't talk like that, dude. You're from Boston.
The biggest shame is that Ed Orgeron didn't work out because he fit perfectly.
And he was a likable guy at the very least. Like, he may not win you many football games. He's a likable guy. They then went to Brian Kelly, which is just the most hateable guy in college football.
Les Miles.
He's more hateable to me than Dabo Sweeney. I also love the video of Ed Orgeron talking about when they came to him and said, "Hey, coach, we're going to have to let you go." And he's like, "We're still going to pay you $12 million or however much it was." He's like, "What door do you want me out, boss?"
I mean, to all of our college football coaches that listen to the Football Scheme podcast, stay away from those co-eds, gentlemen. It's let's just stay away from
LSU has a history with Les Miles and
dude, have you seen a picture of Ed O lately? He looks like a football. He is
he's been loving that South Beach sun.
Bro, that dude has got he's either got skin cancer. I don't know what. I hope he don't got skin cancer. I pray for him. But that dude's got skin cancer, I promise you. Or his skin is just leather because he's from South Louisiana.
It's just leather. I think it's just leather.
All right, let's keep it going. It's been almost a week since this game happened, but way back when Florida and Utah played each other, which thank you, Utes, for giving me a win on the old college football betting program that we had last week. Do both these teams suck?
Yep.
I think Utah is going to be like a scrappy. They didn't have their quarterback. They're going to be a scrappy team.
They're going to win games in the Pac-12, but like, do they?
They're not going to be competing for nothing. They're not going to be. They're going to end the year in the probably 15th position in the poll or something, 16th. But they're not going to be competing.
I bet they win the Pac-12. They play some. I mean, if they win the Pac-12. Excuse me, they'll be in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Does that even exist anymore? I don't even know.
I don't know. They'll play the second place team from the Big Ten because either Ohio State or Michigan will make the playoffs, but I don't think both will make it this year.
Wasn't the Rose
They'll-
Bowl a reason that the college football expansion got held up?
Yes, because
Yeah.
they wanted their game on their specific day because they're a bunch of
Yeah, but I
don't know what they are.
bet they'll play in the
They're
Rose
bad.
Bowl. They'll play against a Big Ten team who is disappointed they didn't make the playoffs, and they beat them. And then everyone says Utah is so good, but really they still aren't that good.
I walked away from that game being like, okay, I still don't really know what Utah is, but I know Florida is absolutely dog crap bad.
Yeah,
They are
which
terrible.
is exactly what we talked about, and by we I mean me, on the podcast last week, is that Florida lost their entire offense and they suck, and they're going to continue to suck. They're going to be bad.
Well, I don't think Billy Napier is really a good coach either. So.
I thought he was going to be a great coach. He's terrible.
Yeah, he's not a good coach. Dude, yeah, they
we're
are
on
definitely a poorly coached team, right?
How do you have
amount
two
of
players
penalties
with the same number?
on the
Two
field?
players with
Yeah,
the same number.
two players on the. I mean, the amount of false starts and things. I mean, it's just they're a poorly coached team. It's like watching the Dallas Cowboys play football in college football.
Yep. While we're on the train of dogging on coaches, add Billy Napier to the list. I mean,
Florida is going to have a long season ahead of them, I think.
And honestly, I thought some of the teams in the SEC East looked pretty decent, so I think Florida's going to really struggle.
They're going to have a long season.
I am glad this is not part of it. I was thinking about this weekend. Honestly, is we can't put college coaches in the malpractice award because
no, that's going to be for NFL coaches only.
Yeah, because they would all have malpractice. At some
We
point
will
this
have.
season.
I think it'll be fair if we have a little shout out if there's a really really bad college football one, but we'll leave that to the professionals.
I'll tell you where the malpractice was. That picture with Sam Pittman and the Huckabees. My God, that dude, he looked terrible.
It's the problem is when you watch college football and NFL, like I'm a fan of both, but
it's
like,
different
you can
games.
tell-
They're totally
yeah,
different
you
games.
can-
They're completely different.
And coaches that you say are good in like great college coaches, which is why the transition is so hard. It's like the mistakes that get made by teams on a regular basis. It's like this would never fly in the men's league. Like it can't. You can't do it.
If you take the Nick Saban gave it a try, Urban Meyer gave it a try. In college, you just have so much more
Urban
control
Meyer
of your
was-
personnel. Well, you just have so much more control of your personnel. In the NFL, you do, but you also kind of don't. You got to work with what you got. College, you can flip a roster
You're
really
working
quick.
with grown men.
And yeah, right.
men.
Like Nick Saban, I think you put Nick Saban's coaching talent and you move it 10 years in the future from now. I think he could be a successful A&M college football coach because by 10 years from now, college football players will be making a crap ton of millions of dollars and whatever. But Nick Saban's whole thing when he was going from pro to college and those kind of things is when you're coaching grown men who are making millions, they show you significantly respect than an 18-year-old that is just begging to get an opportunity.
Yep.
But I think
they don't want to listen.
I mean, obviously this won't happen because he will be retired and or dead at this point in time. But if his career transitioned 10 years into the future, I think he would be fine. Nick Saban is a good football coach.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And would have been able to figure it out.
And a great recruiter.
He adapts well. He does
But
adapt.
He tried to go from college to professional when that did not happen. And none of his players respected him. He was also on a very terrible football team. And so then he sucked and he came back and dominated.
But that's where I think a lot of these guys that do make the leap misread the difference. It's like all of us sitting at home are like, look, you're going from where you've got total control to where you're dealing with grown ass men and they make more money than you in some instances. And they don't have to listen to what you say. They can do what they want on their free time.
Man, you would have thought Urban Meyer would have been good at it though, because he already paid all of his players.
Yeah.
The other thing is in the NFL, you truly have to beat the other team on scheme and like play
Yes.
design.
Yeah.
That college football, you have probably 6 games a year where you can just pure talent level,
Size
where you'll
and
just beat them.
speed and talent. Yeah.
I mean, you play 4 out of conference games, which are usually trash for most teams.
Yeah.
Then you got 2 of your conference games that are probably trash as well.
Yeah, so you just
Yeah.
got to be bigger.
All right. Do we need to talk about Coach Prime anymore? We already kind of talked about him a lot.
No, I mean, we'll
I
see.
mean,
What
I'm curious to watch him on Saturday.
There we go. We'll leave it at that. All right. Let's rattle through the big dogs. Georgia ate its first of many cupcakes.
Didn't look that great to
They
start.
did not look that great.
Pretty
to
slow start.
But I mean, brand new
That's
offense.
expected. Yeah, that's expected. Bobo is already on the hot seat.
I mean, they just don't play anybody.
No, they really don't play anyone all year.
I guess the end of their season, if Ole Miss and Tennessee are any good.
Auburn looks okay.
I assume they're gonna go into the SEC championship undefeated.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're gonna win all.
Well, I mean, even last year they screwed around and found out in Missouri, so that could happen. They have a new quarterback.
I mean, they're gonna win all their games. It's just and then they're gonna go to the SEC championship game, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, agreed.
I still
That's
think
probably
Alabama
the case.
comes out of the SEC championship game.
Flip it.
I'm not sold on them right
Flip
now.
it. I think Georgia wins the SEC championship game and Alabama wins the national championship. But that's fine. Michigan also just
they looked okay.
Their defense looks great, which is what happened last year, and their offense was really bad.
Hey, but they don't have their head coach right now, so we don't know.
Hey, they did hold up the fours for him, and they ran that formation. Jim Harbaugh, rest in peace. That was a little ridiculous.
Yeah,
this has been said on other podcasts.
Also, Jim Harbaugh's the worst.
Not just ones.
We fence.
Can we retire in high school, elementary school, middle school? Can we retire this right here?
Please. When I saw Cade Klubnik walking to the sideline like this yesterday, I wanted to gouge his eyeballs out.
Yeah. My favorite.
Stop. Nobody should ever do this.
As someone who goes to watch a lot of high school football on Friday nights here in the state of Texas, which is a great place to go watch some high school football.
It sure is.
Nothing makes me laugh harder than when the game is a blowout and both teams, the team that's winning is like 4 and the team that's losing is also like 4. And it's like, this makes no sense. I mean, like, it doesn't matter if you follow the fourth quarter. You're down 60 points.
Yeah, you ain't coming back. Lake Travis has ran out of air in their air horn to blow, so we don't need this right here. We're done with this. Let's just go home.
Hey, speaking of Texas high school football, did y'all know that a record was set this past Friday?
What happened?
Liberty Hill and Hutto played each other.
Oh, I saw that.
And they scored the most points ever in Texas high school football.
Didn't that quarterback throw for like 800 yards from Hutto?
The score was 82-80.
Is Liberty Hill still running the triple option?
Yeah.
Wow, they've been running that for a while.
The Liberty Hill ran for 679 yards.
Oh my gosh.
And then Hutto threw for like 800.
I saw the quarterback had like 8 touchdown passes.
Completely opposite styles. It was like run heavy versus pass heavy, and it was like 82-80.
So one defense said, just let them run it as much as they can. We'll throw it. And then one defense said, just let them throw it and we'll run it. And
Hutto's quarterback wins 35 of 45 for 653 yards.
Oh my God.
It's ridiculous.
That's terrible.
It's funny though.
It is, but
it's insane. I mean,
he'll probably get recruited off that too. That's the sad.
No, he's committed to Texas Tech, I believe.
Oh, really?
I mean, Liberty Hill runs the ball every play.
Yeah, they've been running the triple options for years.
Correct, but when you think of a team that runs the triple option and you think of betting overs and unders,
they don't throw it.
You take the under because they usually don't score a ton of points.
Yeah,
but they scored 82 points.
Liberty Hill does score a lot.
I mean, yeah, they won state championships. I mean, they're good.
It's hilarious.
That's enough high school football.
A kid we went to high school with, his brother played at Liberty Hill, and he was in the triple option. He just bulldozed people.
What school?
And
what kid did we know that we went to high school with?
Mason Thom.
I don't know who that is.
His brother played at Liberty Hill, and he just bulldozed people. Which
Good for them. I mean, Liberty Hill is basically cheating in football right now because they're playing in lower divisions with humongous numbers for their division, and they just steamroll everybody. Also, they're a pretty rich school. All right, move past that. There you go. For all of our people who are not from Texas, welcome to Central Texas high school football. It's a big deal here.
It is. If you're good.
It's a big deal here, even if you suck.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Ohio State looks really bad against Indiana.
Their offense looks pathetic.
So, like, I mean, you look at these teams that are currently still ranked in the top 10, and a lot of them didn't look very good.
No. I struggle with it's week 1, so it's like you expect the offenses to be a little sluggish. But when Ohio State, when that kid, what's his name? Whatever his name was, when he ran out there, you did not see like CJ Stroud. You didn't his debut wasn't the prettiest game. They still won the game by 50 points. This game was legit. If Indiana, Kyle McCord, if Indiana had a remote, like anything resembling an offense at all, they would have been right in the game.
Sure. I mean,
Marvin Harrison Jr. only got like
two catches, 18 yards.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And Mbuko or whatever, they say that they're the 2 best wide receivers in college football. He had like 3 catches.
3 for 16.
Yeah, I feel
that's
like
terrible.
I feel like if I was his coach, if I was Ryan Day, we're gonna have a meeting. We had a meeting Monday morning saying if you ever do this again, you will never play at the Ohio State University.
I mean, Kyle McCord.
But Kyle McCord didn't look good. That's the problem.
Kyle McCord, 0 touchdowns.
Their offensive line didn't look good.
And a pick.
He didn't look good.
Travion Henderson didn't even run the ball well. Like, they didn't.
No, their offensive line looked bad.
Yeah, that's not good.
I walked away from watching that game thinking Ohio State is liable to drop a game or 2.
Oh, for sure.
They're always liable to drop a game.
I said it last week, and I will say it again. Everyone get prepared for Notre Dame being in the playoff.
Yeah.
They've only got 2 games this year. They play USC and Ohio State. And they play Ohio State early, I'm pretty sure.
They only got to win one of those, and they might make it in.
They're going to
watch out for Duke. Watch out for Duke.
They're going to win both of them.
Watch out for Duke.
Notre Dame's defense is good, and they will keep Caleb Williams to 30 points.
Also,
and
USC has no
USC's
defense
is pathetic.
They didn't give up a lot of points, but they did give up almost 400 yards of offense to Nevada.
I mean, they gave up
which is
amount of points.
It was only 14 points, I think, but they gave up 360 passing yards.
Yeah,
40 rushing yards.
So yeah,
against Nevada.
Against Nevada.
Yeah, Ohio State plays Youngstown State and Western Kentucky, and then they play Notre Dame in Indiana.
South End?
Yeah.
So they got a couple weeks to figure it out, but I didn't. What showed up on Saturday did not look like it was going to be anything decent.
And
no, they're not going to win the Big Ten like that.
They're playing the cupcakes of the cupcakes in Youngstown State and Western Kentucky. So if they can't figure it out, there's problems.
Yeah.
Like if they don't score 70 in their next 2 games, like there's an issue.
If there ain't a coach crying on the sideline at the end of one of those games, it's not good.
Yeah, I walked away from watching that game thinking this is probably the first time in a long time Ohio State fans have walked away from the game being like, that was not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because normally, even if they don't play great, they still win by 30, 50, 40, 50, whatever.
Yeah.
No, they did not look good.
23-3 is bad. Real bad.
And it was honestly closer than that most of the game.
Yeah. I mean, good for the defense only giving up 3 points. Hooray.
Yeah, but Indiana's offense looked absolutely pathetic too.
I mean, it's a Big Ten offense. I mean, you have Minnesota,
the Big Ten,
Nebraska.
The over-unders in the Big Ten game should be set at like 17 at this point.
Oh, wait, I didn't actually look it up. Hold on. Pause, everybody. Currently, we have the Iowa versus Iowa State this weekend.
Oh yeah.
That should be set at 34.
No, lower than that.
I
What's
bet
it
it's
at?
34.
36.5.
Oh,
I think last year it was set at 24.
I think it was too.
I think it was
that.
set at 24 last year.
What, in the
Hey,
Yeah, but
Iowa scored on their first 2 possessions on offense, I believe.
And they
so.
still hit the under.
I know they got to score 25 a game, and they only hit 24, I believe.
They
Like-
had more wasn't both of them throwing touchdowns too?
I believe so. They got
Yeah,
Cade
that's-
McNamara.
That's yeah.
Oh
they
wait,
do.
no,
Yeah,
the Michigan guy.
yeah, and that Cade.
Is it McNamara, or is he the one that's playing in Michigan now?
I thought he was
think
the
that's
guy that
one
was
playing
at
at Iowa. McNamara's playing at Iowa. I mean, two throwing touchdowns is probably
Yeah, Cade McNamara.
Yeah.
It's probably 2 more than they had all year last year in Iowa.
I mean,
Oh, it's pretty close.
it is an absolute tragedy
sucked.
that this game is in week 2 because it is such a fun game to watch because it's so freaking bad. It's so bad.
I'm gonna be tuned in.
I will be. It's at
And Donald Trump will be there too this weekend.
it's
Oh,
at
he loves Iowa. Does he love Iowa?
Yeah.
it's at
He'll be
2:30.
there.
Love this state.
It's at 2:30 Central Time. I don't think there's any good games going on 2:30 Central Time.
He's gonna be giving one of
Ooh, that's gonna
A&M
be tough.
Miami.
Nah, that's not gonna be a good game because we're gonna steamroll them. Hopefully, cross all my fingers. Ole Miss Tulane is at 2:30. We're gonna
Oh, I
see.
think that was a late game.
We're gonna see if the YouTube TV will do the quad box properly this week. We're gonna test it out.
I do love that though.
The only thing I don't love about it is I don't get to pick which 4 games I get.
Yes,
Oh,
I was scrolling through it and I was like, golly, this is not the combination of games I want.
Yeah,
I want to pick what games I want in those boxes.
but they don't have the bandwidth for it apparently, like or whatever it is. They don't
don't
I
have.
figured it was like
bandwidth?
I thought it was probably like a network situation where they can't have
That's what I
multiple
thought.
networks on it.
No, it's because there are so many trillions of combinations. If every
can't do it.
every TV in the nation got to pick which 4 screens they picked, that you can't do it.
All right.
Also, YouTube
Get
TV,
Elon
can we
in there.
figure it out to where we can get quad box on a computer and not just the TVs?
Oh, we can't. There's no quad box on the computer.
Nope. It only works on smart televisions. It does not work on a computer.
I learned something
Also-
new.
So if I'm in here trying to
Also-
watch my quad box soccer games in the morning, doesn't
You
work
can't do it.
because it's
How
on.
do you know you got a smart telly or not?
Do you have a quad box? You got a smart.
You have a
telly.
smart telly. There's no such
Oh.
thing as not a smart telly these days.
That's true.
The other thing that made me mad is I kept refreshing Twitter during the TCU Colorado game, and like 3 times I would see a tweet that was like, "Oh, TCU's winning," and I was like, "Dang it! Now they're gonna score on the next play."
Yeah,
and they did.
My
YouTube does
YouTube
have that
TV
solid
does
delay.
My YouTube TV does do good compared to y'all's because I'm usually typically ahead of y'all.
Hey,
Well, I think this person was trying to intentionally ruin it for people that were scrolling Twitter.
they
So
might
they were
have
like,
been,
as soon as they would see something,
or they might
would
have been
say
in
it.
the stadium. You never know.
Yeah.
or
'Cause-
they were watching on Direct TV or something.
Yeah.
I've never been in a stadium where the phone works though.
Oh, Kyle Field
dude.
works great.
Yeah, everywhere works. I haven't been in a stadium ever in my lifetime where my phone does not work.
I've
Yeah, Kyle
never
Field works
been in
great.
one where it works.
Hey, while we're on this topic, on Thursday I will be out with my in-laws for dinner for my birthday during the Chiefs game. I have it taped
Oh
on
my!
YouTube.
What?
I got it taped on my YouTube.
It's
TV
your
at home.
birthday.
Well, my birthday already happened, and then whatever, I had COVID. Don't worry about it. So
You're vaxxed.
I had COVID. I was testing positive. And my father-in-law is a doctor, can't really go be around his patients. But the point being, just
He's vaxxed.
don't text me on Thursday about anything
we had
Chiefs Lions related until I send you a text message that says I'm live.
What time are you going to dinner at?
We're doing an early dinner.
Okay,
I'll be home.
okay.
I'll be caught up before halftime, guaranteed.
All right.
Okay.
But like,
okay.
just don't be like, wow, Chiefs look really bad without Chris Jones and Travis Kelce. They're down 30 at halftime. I don't want to know.
Well,
All right,
Try my best.
Let's keep it moving. I'll have to tell Jonathan about it too. Alabama, in my opinion, doesn't have a quarterback.
No.
He looked okay. He's another one where I kind of feel like we don't exactly know what Alabama is still.
Their
We
offense.
looked
don't know.
okay.
We don't know who anyone is because
No,
everyone plays
I'm
shit.
No, there's a
sorry.
couple teams that I feel pretty confident in.
I'm sorry. If your offense can't look good against cupcakes, I got problems.
Yeah, but I do think when you have these big week 2 games, which Texas and Alabama both in that situation, they don't want to put anything on tape.
Okay. Ohio State doesn't have one of those, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those teams.
Michigan doesn't have one of those, though.
Those teams, I
Georgia
kind of
didn't
think
have one of
that's
those,
not
though.
good.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
But
I'll
give you
Alabama
that.
and Texas both, I feel like, have that in the back pocket.
That's fair. Also, Alabama looked really rough against Texas last year, and I feel like Nick Saban wants to lock.
I think
I would
Saban
agree.
might run the score up. I think he might.
I think so too, only because of the way it went down, where the Texas fans were saying, oh well, the refs screwed us on that targeting call.
I mean,
yada,
no,
yada.
it was not targeting. It was a safety. Also, we can all agree it was a safety. I don't care.
Agreed.
It was a terrible
I
call.
with the call.
It was
I
a
disagree
really,
with the call.
really, really bad call.
But after the game, all the Texas fans were saying, well, the refs screwed us.
I mean, yes.
I'm like, well, let's see how that goes next year for the rest of the screw.
I don't know if my wife can hear me right now, but my wife will tell you still a year later that Texas won that football game.
Also, Texas.
She has yet to admit that Texas
folks.
lost that football game.
Welcome to the SEC, folks. This is how SEC officiating is. You never know what you're going to get on a weekly basis.
Dude, but so is the Big 12 officiating, and so is the Pac-12. I mean, the refs just
officials in general.
Bad.
There ain't no Gene Steratore running the sideline.
Oh, he's the worst. I hate him so much. All right. Let's just quickly just roll through the rest of it. Caleb Williams has already won his second Heisman.
I still got my eyes on Travis Hunter.
No, absolutely not.
Dude, if he doesn't even have to play that great, but if you play both sides of the ball, you're the Heisman Trophy winner.
No.
If he had caught those 2 balls that he should, well, I feel like one was a draw. Well, I mean, he's pretty closely defended on both. I think he had 2 touchdown opportunities. If he had caught those 2 touchdowns, he's going to win the Heisman.
When was the last time that a Heisman Trophy winner ever played on a team with 3 losses?
I don't care.
Well, Robert Griffin was probably one.
No, Baylor was good back then.
I think they lost a couple games.
No, I think they were a 1-loss team.
Let's start Googling.
I'm Googling.
2011. All right.
Also, that year that that commercial with
Robert 10-3.
Oh.
Okay,
6-3 in Big 12 play.
Oh, I was gonna say, was their third loss their bowl game? Because that doesn't count.
They were 6-3 in Big 12 play.
All right, good for them then.
Pulled that one out of my butt.
Good job.
I hate that commercial too, with him lifting those stupid weights in that mirror.
Oh, did we already? I can't remember. Did we talk about RG3 commenting on the biggest bust draft of all time, and then just everyone destroying him on the internet?
Absolutely hammered. RG3's gonna have some self-awareness.
I love it. It's great. I mean, he's right. Trey Lance is the biggest bust draft pick of all time.
Yes, I agree.
But it's just so funny.
It is funny coming from. I will say RG3 had that like one good year, so he can stand on that.
He was literally rookie of the year.
Yeah, he had one good year.
All right. So Caleb Williams.
Other than that.
Caleb Williams is going to win the Heisman again.
The only thing that stops Caleb Williams is if people are just tired of voting for him.
I was going to say, has anyone ever won the Heisman twice?
Yeah, Charles Woodson did, I believe.
And he won twice?
I think so.
I don't know about that, but
I thought it was a quarterback maybe that won twice.
I'm just saying, my Heisman winner can't.
Archie Griffin. Archie Griffin won twice.
I would say it wasn't. I would say it wasn't him, but yes, I remember it being somebody. So whatever, but that was in the 70s. So I mean, his downside is only Archie Griffin's ever won it twice. And Sam Hartman's going to put up some numbers this year.
I mean, Shedeur Sanders put up 500 yards.
Yeah, but he's gonna. I mean, he won't every game. That's for sure.
No, yeah, agreed. That's what I think. Colorado is going to die in the middle of the season because all their dudes are playing 100 snaps.
Yeah.
Look, if I will say, if somehow Shador Sanders keeps this up, he deserves to win the Heisman. So
I do think that Caleb Williams is probably the dude.
See, I
just don't think he's that good. That's my problem. I think he's good, but I don't think he's. Everyone acts like he's goddamn Tom Brady. He is not Tom freaking Brady. He's not.
He's not. He's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
I don't think he's Patrick Mahomes. I'd rather have
plays
Patrick Mahomes.
like Patrick Mahomes.
Well, of course you'd rather have Pat Mahomes, but
I think he'll go in the NFL and stink.
Okay, but I mean that's just
now.
That's a wishy-washy thing. If I was a college football fan, I would want Caleb Williams over Patrick Mahomes any day of the week.
I just
like if you remember Patrick Mahomes in college, I would take Caleb Williams over him in college any day.
Yeah, well, I get that because
Mahomes got to come sit under a great quarterback
Big 12.
and in Andy Reid's offense, and he got to sit for a year and then play football and be very good.
Look, Caleb Williams has the Johnny treatment with Lincoln Riley. Like he can do whatever he wants.
He does whatever he wants.
That's part of the thing. He can do whatever the heck he wants.
He's a great college football quarterback. It probably will not transition to the NFL.
Yeah, I have a feeling some teams going to be very disappointed. Oh, yeah.
I mean, he will be that. I can't even describe a word. He's not going to be Johnny Manziel and bust out of the league in 3 years.
Yeah, but Johnny had some other factors that led to that.
But
Caleb Williams already paints his nails. Come on.
He'll be more successful than Baker because he's tall. Baker had very similar traits to him, but he could survive in college football even though he was short. But in the NFL, you can't do that.
Okay, let's look at it this way. How many Big 12 or Pac-12 quarterbacks have panned out long-term in the NFL?
A lot.
Herbert.
Really think so?
I mean,
come on.
Justin Herbert's the number one Herbert's the best quarterback that's ever played football. Don't you know? Dude, still, gosh dang it. I was listening to a freaking football podcast today, and I about threw my phone out my car window because they were talking about Justin Herbert being the best quarterback in the NFL. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. He's got 0 playoff wins. He was 27-0, and he lost.
I'm just at the point where I hope Caleb Williams loses 2 games because I can't stand it. I
mean, he probably will. And
he probably will because they have no defense.
He probably won't win the Heisman. I bet. I mean, if I'm at it, I got it pulled up right here. Hold on.
Look, I'll go as far to say this. If Caleb Williams wins the Heisman again, I will chop my wiener off.
Sam Hartman right now is plus 2,000.
That's probably your value bet there.
Sam Hartman only has to win 2 football games this year. One of them is against Caleb Williams.
And if he wins that, he's Heisman Trophy winner.
I mean,
the only thing with Hartman is he's not going to put up the numbers that Caleb Williams
But he already has put up the numbers.
But like in terms of like rushing numbers, rushing touchdowns,
but
like he's not going to be able to match all that.
Doesn't have to. Pac-12 sucks. He doesn't have to do that much. Like
currently, Sam Hartman is 33 of 40, which is 83% completion percentage for 440 the yards. That's the problem.
That's what I think too.
He's got 6 touchdowns.
Their rushing game. Well, first of all, they played Army or whatever in that game, or Navy, and that game lasted 2 hours. He had the ball 4 times. But he's not going to put up the numbers that a Caleb Williams can put up.
He won't, right? Caleb Williams has the same amount of touchdowns in 1 game that Sam Hartman has all season. So
no, he's played 2. He's played 2, right?
I understand, but Caleb Williams had 5 plus touchdowns
game.
In that 1 game, and Sam Hartman has in it. So that's it. But still, I don't know. If he beats Caleb Williams,
I might just hate Lincoln Riley.
I hate Lincoln Riley. I think
if Notre Dame goes undefeated, I think Sam Hartman's one you got to watch out for sure. He might not put up the numbers, but
the difference is he has to go undefeated, and Caleb Williams can probably lose a game or 2 and still win it.
Correct. It just depends. It depends on their head-to-head.
Because the games they lose, he's still gonna put up 500 yards.
If
of offense.
Hartman is going to beat, if Notre Dame beats USC, Hartman's going to have to put up numbers in that game to beat Caleb Williams. So that's going to help, right? It's just like Johnny Manziel's Heisman moment is the fact that he beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Like,
yes,
that's what put him on the scene. And then
he also did that in quite remarkable fashion.
Correct. But also, did he have some not so great games after that? Yes. Yeah. But he beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
The other thing that I'm glad after week 1 is we can stop the Quinn Ewers Heisman talk.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Turns out Quinn Ewers isn't that great of a quarterback in week 1.
I mean, so thanks for that, Blake. Way to just keep it going. Quinn Ewers has started 11 football games for the University of Texas. How many times out of those 11 has he thrown for less than 200 yards?
10.
9.
Okay, that's really high for both of you. But 6.
That's pretty high.
That's over half. Over
Yeah,
half of
bad.
the games that Quinn Ewers has started for the University of Texas, he has thrown for less than 200 yards. One of those has got to be getting injured versus Alabama last year.
Probably.
So 5 out of 10 is what you would say, because he was definitely on track to throw more than 200.
Yeah, but for 9 of those games,
I know
Xavier Worthy running past the entire defense the entire game.
I mean, it's bad.
No, I thought
even if he didn't have Xavier Worthy throwing, the University of Texas should be throwing for more than 200 yards per game.
I thought he might have
in the Big 12 for that matter.
Yeah,
turned the corner because he shaved the mullet.
That facial hair is still real bad.
He played okay, but he cannot throw a deep ball if his life depends.
No,
which is hilarious because last year that's all he could do. Last year he couldn't throw short, but he could just throw the deep ball, and that's it.
He cannot throw a deep ball.
Is he the poster child for not coming out of high school early? Is he gonna be?
I mean, he's definitely him and Trey Lance are the poster child of don't ever sit a year of football at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not a
why
good
would
idea.
You ever sit? I mean, millions of dollars is why you would sit, but still.
Yeah, but Quinn Ewers isn't. Oh, I did see people speculating it'd be a first-round draft pick.
I mean, he already got paid his millions of dollars.
Yeah, but
now you get paid your millions in college football. So I mean,
but here's the thing about these college athletes: getting paid millions of dollars in college. Are they smart enough to make it life?
Quinn Ewers' family already has money, so I think they're okay.
I'll say Quinn Ewers is not being a first round.
He's from South Lake, Texas. I think they're okay.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be fine, but
there's other guys that may not be that smart.
Quinn Ewers is going to be Blake Bortles. He's going to be smoking heaters on a construction site in the not near future.
He's a classic. He's another classic case of writing his recruiting ranking for his entire career.
He'll be an analyst on the SEC network. He'll be Brady Quinn.
He is a decent quarterback. He can't throw a deep ball if his life depended on it. That's a problem. And that's going to be a problem next week.
We're going to find out. That's what I'm going to say. This Saturday, that game.
Who's Texas' backup? Who's the backup?
Malik
Murphy. Dude, that dude.
Who also is not accurate at all.
Correct. But Malik Murphy is built like Derrick Henry.
That is Anthony Richardson 2.0 if I've ever seen
he's
him.
Bigger. He's huge. Malik Murphy is a freaking giant.
I don't see him. He'll never actually play meaningful minutes for Texas because everyone's going to be wanting Arch Manning before that ever happens.
For sure. But once Quinn Ewers probably gets hurt because their offensive line can't block again, then this year it'll be Malik because Arch Manning's not going to play a snap.
In Texas had Bijan last year to bail him out a lot.
Texas's defense is going to be real good this year. They're going to be really good this year.
Their offense just has to.
They're going to flip
in the red zone. They got to be able to score in the red zone.
Last year they were in a lot of shootout games. This year it's going to be a lot of low scoring football games.
Even last year though, they were like I heard some stat while I was watching the game that they had one of the lowest scoring percentages in the red zone.
Yeah.
And it's happened again in the game week number 1. You got to figure that one out.
I mean, Jordan Whittington's supposed to be this great receiver. I mean, Jordan Whittington is a huge receiver. But I mean, can't stay healthy.
Is he still playing?
Yeah.
He seems like
The
he's
pride-
50 years old.
I was working in Cuero, Texas when that guy was the pride and joy of Cuero, Texas.
Well, he's
The Cuero.
still there.
the
I don't know if he's
Cuero,
cashing in his COVID years or what, but he's still there.
The Gophers, I think, or something like that. Something like that.
All right,
I
well
don't
let's end it up with you know what they say, good teams win, but great teams cover.
Oh my
And
gosh!
Not only
Don't
did the
do
Texas
this to
A&M
me.
not only did the Texas A&M Aggies win, but they also covered the spread.
I thought you were going to talk about James Franklin, and I was about to punch my screen
I wasn't.
Why would I talk about James Franklin
Hey,
football?
I
because that was
retired.
the worst thing I'd ever seen in my life.
I retired the Fire Bimbo shirt for a week.
There you go. I wore my A&M shirt with pride today. It was a
We looked
completely
good. Our offense played offense.
Noah Thomas got 3 touchdowns. Looked pretty
The
good.
first possession when the ball, I believe, like one was the first touchdown, went for about 40 yards.
Yeah.
And I was like, that ball just went over 5 yards. We also didn't just stand with our hands on our hips for 30 seconds every single play. It was incredible.
Connor didn't blow me away, but
he doesn't make mistakes.
But the deep ball, I like that wrinkle into our offense. He might not hit on it every time, but at least he didn't throw it to the other team when he did it. So I was a fan.
Connor Weigman, whatever you call it, has the highest QBR in college football right now.
Yes, he does.
There you go.
97.2.
That is all I need to see. I mean, even the deep balls he missed on, I thought, thank Jesus, thank you, baby Jesus. We are throwing the ball. Let's get some
when
shots.
I saw Bobby Petrino in the midst of we made some mistake at the end of the game. We're up by like 40 points. And he threw the highlighter on the table. Yeah. I was like, we got some fire. We got some fire.
Let's
I
go.
like it. That is the anti-Jimbo.
Yeah.
I was a little concerned. Moose didn't get his touches.
Well, that'll come.
I think they just identified that Polo dude. That dude got absolutely torched the entire game. They were like, if you keep putting him on Noah Thomas, he's gonna catch every single ball we throw at him.
Yep. Yeah, I was a little concerned that Moose didn't
Anaya Smith didn't do anything either.
Anaya Smith didn't really get touches either. So it
was Evan Stewart, Noah Thomas, pretty much everyone.
That was
We're gonna learn a lot about Anais and Moose this weekend, which I mean we know.
I think we're gonna learn a lot about Jimbo because that game was never in doubt, so he never has to dabble in anything. This week, it'll be interesting to see if he dabbles in the offense a bit because I don't like that.
I will say I was fired up because I really didn't know what to believe. Oh, Petrino going to the podium saying I'm going to run the offense. I didn't know what to believe, and it looked like Jimbo.
He ran the offense.
Yeah.
I didn't see the Cheesecake Factory menu and Jimbo's hands thumbing through it for 30 seconds.
Highlighting every goddamn play on the playbook. I mean,
is Miami even any good? Are they? I mean,
probably not. But Lord have mercy, they're better than New Mexico.
They looked okay. They looked okay. I mean, they'll be more of a test than New Mexico ever will be
for sure. But
I'm not saying that's like
Is that game in Miami?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Did we play them at Kyle Field
last year?
Yeah.
I don't know why I felt like we played them neutral site last year.
It was a freaking 8 o'clock game at Kyle Field last year.
This is our last year playing them because it's a home.
Yeah, it's a home. It was just a home and away thing. I just don't know why I thought that we played those both neutral site border. The one thing I didn't like that we did not assert ourselves on the ground. That was a little concerning. Our offensive line did run the ball well. Our offensive line did pretty good in pass protection. Did not do great in running situations. Yeah. Also, I think we had 2 sacks in 30 drop back attempts. So that's not very typical of our defensive line either.
Our defensive line did pick it up towards the end of the game. They looked better.
They had lots of tackles for loss, but it's not a bunch of sacks, which I mean we'll see how it goes this week.
The offensive line too, they were subbing people in constantly. Like Dewberry didn't even start. So they were subbing people in constantly, which I think that kind of messes with the offensive line a good bit.
For sure. So we'll see how I think there's room to be optimistic I'm saying more than 5 wins, so that's good.
Yes.
Look, it's
Feel
optimistic,
confident
like
about
Blake
winning more than
said.
5 wins.
It's optimistic, like Blake said, that we threw the ball down the goddamn field. I mean,
I didn't even care if we completed the passes, but
No,
we
me
saw the
neither.
ball move
Yeah.
down the
Yeah.
field. That was incredible.
Mhm.
That there was many times, or I texted y'all one time. I didn't even care that the pass was incomplete, but guess what? The ball went more than 5 yards down the field.
And
That's
we got some good wide receivers. So
Yeah, we do have a good wide receiver room. I'm not
if
gonna
they get
lie.
one-on-one, even if it's, I mean, give me Evan Stewart one-on-one on a college corner. Sure.
Oh, that little hitch that he had, or it was like an in route that he immediately planted and went outside.
Yes.
Holy heck. That
He-
got me excited for some reason.
He's got to put the ball away though.
I agree. Because I'm pretty
Hey.
sure that was the play he fumbled on too.
He definitely had the one fumble, and then he almost fumbled the second time. And I'm like, he's got to put the ball away. That
I do agree, but he is electric with the ball in his hands.
any wide receiver that holds the ball like Keyshawn Johnson used to do, I just immediately want them fired. I'm just like, nope, fire them. I can't have it. Tuck it and run. Let's see what we got.
I agree, but he looked good. Noah Thomas, I'd heard of him from like spring practice, but did not expect that. Did
He's
not see
big.
that coming.
Yeah.
He's a
real
big old kid.
He's a big old kid.
He doesn't look that big like when you see him like by himself on TV. I saw him walking into the tunnel on TV and I was like, oh my gosh, he's huge. He's got to be about 6'5", 6'4".
He's tall.
Hey, we need another Mike Evans.
That's true.
Speaking of that, Bucks, pay the man.
And a Johnny Manziel while we're at it. We could use both of those.
Yeah,
the college versions. Actually, you know what? I'll take the NFL version of Mike Evans too.
But actually, Wegman was in control, didn't make mistakes. That's all we want.
It's fine.
That's all that matters.
If he can stay composed, let's go.
College football, in my opinion, comes down to at the quarterback position, just don't turn the ball over. That's all I ask for. Just make your
I ask for more than that. Same thing. I will always judge quarterbacks, no matter what level it is, on third down.
Yes.
Yeah, agreed.
But hey,
that's Dak Prescott's biggest failure. If Dak Prescott didn't throw so many picks, that's his second biggest failure. But I mean, Dak Prescott is horrific on third down.
Sometimes you have to realize it's okay to punt. Punting is okay. It is not the end of the world.
But also, sometimes you punt too often. The Cowboys punt too often.
No, agree. But what I'm saying is, on third down, you don't want to force something that's not there just because you're desperate.
Yeah,
just punt it.
Yeah, but Jimbo was the king calling plays of it's 3rd and 8. Let's run a 3-yard out route, and we'll hit him every goddamn play.
Well, it worked in 2020 because we would have 3rd and 1 on every single drive.
Yeah,
4 times.
But it didn't work last year when we had 3rd and 8 every goddamn.
Or 3rd and 20 because we would hold, then we'd have a false start and then a delay of game all in the same possession.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. We'll see. We got
I'm curious to see this
a lot of big tests this weekend in college football. A lot of the big teams have some cupcakes part 2. So we'll eventually get into I can't wait till there's good, really, really good college football on every week. But
it's coming.
Definitely UT Alabama is a good one to watch this weekend. A&M, let's see what we got for real. Or Miami, I guess. If we suck and Miami's good, sure, let's find out. And everyone keep an eye on that Ole Miss Tulane game over there. It's going to be a good one. There's in the
couple of games on this weekend.
All right, let's talk fantasy football because we got week 1 of the NFL season. And you know what? Just because we all know that everyone comes to listen to Football is King podcast because we're the greatest sports insiders. Travis Kelce got hurt. We're breaking that news right now. No one else has heard of that all day.
Facts.
You hear it here for the first time. Travis Kelce not going to play in week 1 against the Detroit Lions. So as an avid Kansas City Chiefs watcher, I think a lot of people are going to pivot. They're going to be like, we'll get Noah Gray, backup tight end, or we'll pick up this wide receiver or whatever. The wide receivers for the Chiefs are a mess. It's going to be a different receiver every week. None of them are going to help you for fantasy football unless you can guess which one is going to be good.
Yeah, you gotta get lucky on that one.
Currently, the Chiefs have 7 receivers on their 53-man roster, which is insane.
The Chiefs is one of those teams where you feel like you can pick any receiver and be like, oh, we'll be okay. But it is true. Like, it's going to be a reception by unit.
Correct. And
situation.
what you got to do if you're playing fantasy football and you have the possibility, if you're trying to pick, if you think the Chiefs are going to do well, you got to pick Isaiah Pacheco. He's going to get the most carries he's ever gotten in a football game.
I wonder if somebody in my league, I'm sure somebody took him.
It's going to slow down Aiden Hutchinson, which is a big deal because we got brand new tackles. And if you watch the Chiefs in the Super Bowl last year, in the second half, what did they rely on? The angriest runner in football history in Isaiah Pacheco. So I think if you got him, I think he might not have to be your running back number 1, but I think definitely running back 2 or flex. Pacheco is who you're looking for your running backs this week. So
and my team's electric. I got Pat Mahomes in the 5th round.
There you go.
My team's electric. Auto draft, baby.
My team doesn't exist. So there we go for that. All right. The other thing I want to talk about fantasy football related is kind of a similar problem, but I wanted to hear y'all's opinions on it. This week, the Baltimore Ravens play the Houston Texans, which everyone imagines that the Ravens are just going to absolutely destroy them, which is fair. They're a much better football team.
Have you seen the spread?
-10.
10.
It's the biggest spread of the weekend. Lamar always puts up big numbers first week of the season, every year. He stakes his MVP claim in the first week, for sure. My question is very similar to the Chiefs. Is there a person that you pick besides Lamar that, like, you think that there's going to be a connection there? Or do you stay away from them because they're going to spread the ball thin and dominate the Texans by just they have better players all across the board?
I think you stick with Lamar on this one.
Well, quarterback wise, yes, I'm picking Lamar, but like, is there a receiver that we think, like, I know a lot of people are probably going to stick with the OBJ, but I'm really not.
I don't think that's going to be a huge difference maker. I really don't.
But then you got like your Zay Flowers of the world, who's going to be the deep threat. Like, can he go? Is this a week that he goes off? Or is this a week that J.K. Dobbins is successful? Or Gus Edwards?
You probably see him run the ball a lot, I would assume, just because they'll be able to.
Yeah.
Hey, quick question. I just saw this article. What does it mean that the Chiefs believe that Kelsey's ACL is intact?
You got to take an MRI.
He had an MRI, and
he had an MRI, and it said okay, but they're going to do another one tomorrow. Like, what does that mean?
They always double check.
It just seemed weird. That seemed like weird verbiage.
I think he didn't tear his ACL, but they're trying to see if it's more, like, if there's could be other damage to the knee, right? If like your patella or something gets dislodged, then it could eventually tear your ligaments. So I don't know. Blake's the doctor of the group here.
I have no clue. I just assumed it was intact. I figured they did the little knee test where they pop it.
Oh, I've done that. I've done that twice. Both times it ended up not great.
I think his ACL is fine, but he could have an injury that's more than just a hyperextended knee that could keep him out longer, but not the.
It's probably just precautionary. It's honestly probably just precautionary.
My first thoughts after seeing everything today is that he doesn't play till week 5.
I was going to say, what, extension? They're going to keep him out a month.
I
heard someone saying that. I heard someone saying that he could play. Well, he's not going to play on Thursday, I don't think. But the next week, if the swelling goes down, if everything's good,
I think he could play. I think he could play Thursday.
Does he need to? That's the
based
question.
off pain.
That's what I was going to say. Do they need him?
Sorry, let's go week 4. I think he sits Lions, Jags, Bears. I think he sits those games out. I think he plays at the Jets.
It is a little strange that if he, well, I mean, he obviously tweaked it, but if there's that as much swelling as they were saying, that's a little. Maybe that's why they're double checking. That's a little
I mean,
weird.
yeah, I mean, I already had the Chiefs going under this year on their win total, but if
No, I mean they'll be.
worst case scenario, Chris Jones sits till week 8 and Kelsey misses 6 games. There's a chance. There's a very big chance the Chiefs don't make the playoffs. Very big.
Is this
In the AFC, you're getting a little sketchy there.
The AFC is sketchy, and the AFC West should be good. I mean, the Chargers have got to figure out eventually, right? They've been picked to win the AFC West for like 10 years in a row. Surely they figure it out eventually.
Their coach is an absolute buffoon.
But Justin Herbert is the greatest quarterback that has ever lived.
I know, since Uncle Rico. I mean,
we'll probably find out more tomorrow once they do the further testing to see how long he'll be out.
But I don't think he plays Thursday, and I think the Chiefs lose.
Thursday, I think you'd be done. If they played on Sunday, maybe you have a chance. Thursday is a little
unless Chris Jones all of a sudden plays. If Chris Jones plays, because he's a big part, because Jared Goff is really good at a play action, but an interior push beats play action.
Chris Jones ain't playing.
He's not. There's no way. And even if he does play, he's gonna be so out of shape that he doesn't. I mean, that's the biggest thing that people are not talking about. Is like, let's say Chris Jones and the Chiefs come to a deal today. Chris Jones won't be in shape until week 5 of the NFL season.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna take him long.
He missed the entire offseason. I know he was.
It'll be a situation where he'll play like on 3rd down.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same thing with Nick Bosa. Like,
yeah,
Bosa is probably going to come to a deal and probably play on Sunday, but he's going to be very out of shape.
Agreed.
Yeah, those guys ain't white walling bongs. If they was, they'd be ready to go. But
well,
that's only Laramie Tunsil.
Laramie Tunsil's probably going to get it destroyed on Sunday. So
that poor guy, he's just been.
To Matabuki from Texas A&M.
I like Matabike.
All right, there we go. There's fantasy football.
Are you going to ask us who we think is going to win the Super Bowl?
No, I don't care. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
No, I was getting prepared.
I want to know now. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
Oh, the New Orleans Saints.
Blake, I can't believe you just said the Bills. How could you?
I'm all in on the Bills this year. I'm all in on the Bills this year.
It's got to be the Bengals this year, right? It's got to be.
All in on the Bills.
I do like the. Sorry, no, hold on. Well, before we moved on, I forgot this happened today. That the Jets defense came out and said that they're the 1985 Bears. So the new standard is that the Jets have to go undefeated and win.
Yeah,
Super Bowl. They have to.
What's up with these dudes saying stuff like that? They know that's Brian Kelly said he was going to beat the hell out of Florida State. Why did he say that?
It's ignorant. It's ignorant.
It is.
Just because it.
And comparing yourself to the 85 Bears is
ignorant. In the wise words of John Sichkowski, just because it enters your head doesn't mean it needs to come out your mouth.
Yep. I heard that one this weekend, in fact.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the Saints and the Jaguars in the Super Bowl.
That'd be
definitely not the Jaguars. They don't have the defense for it.
Oh yeah, that's my Super Bowl prediction.
That'd be the lowest rated Super Bowl of all time.
I'll let you know.
Yes, it would. That would be cool.
I would actually love that to happen because I can't wait for Twitter to all the sports writers on Twitter to freak out because they always freak out about the ratings.
The highest rated Super Bowl would have to be Cowboys Jets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anything with the Cowboys for sure.
Yeah, if it's the Cowboys and like I don't know, some other big market team.
But
same thing.
But right now the Jets have all the hype.
Yeah. Especially with Hard Knocks.
The Cowboys and Bears would pull more numbers.
Jets. So you have Rodgers versus his
that'd be
team.
awesome.
But I mean, the Cowboys will get better ratings just because the Cowboys. So
the Packers won the Super Bowl the year after Aaron Rodgers leaves with Jordan Love averaging 150 yards passing a game.
I would love it.
We're
That'd be
gonna find
hilarious.
out that Matt LaFleur is not that good of a coach.
As long as the NFC team wins the Super Bowl but doesn't beat the Chiefs in that Super Bowl, I would love it. I will root for any NFC team this year to win the Super Bowl as long as they don't play the Chiefs in that Super Bowl
Well,
game.
you might be rooting for Philly then.
I will root for Philly. Philly is a likable football team.
Philly
I
versus
love the
Buffalo.
I do
Coach.
not like any of the teams in the AFC besides the Chiefs. I hate them all.
I love Nick Sirianni.
I don't
Love
like Nick Sirianni, but I like
a
Jalen
dog.
Hurts. Jalen Hurts is great. I love Jason Kelsey. I love that defensive line. I mean,
I love seeing the Slim Reaper Devontae Smith running routes.
I love
too.
Devontae Smith. I think AJ Brown is overrated.
Yeah.
But sure, whatever. So there's that.
I would love to see Philly win a Super Bowl just so we can watch Jason Kelsey wear that goofy outfit again.
I also like Philly winning
Drunk
the
as
Super Bowl
hell.
because I like watching Philadelphia burn to the ground in celebration. It's hilarious.
They have to rebuild their city after every championship,
They got to rebuild
which they don't
it.
have much experience with at this point.
Yeah,
Because they keep losing in the championship games.
Yep, they got to protect their police horses this time. They've learned their lessons.
And
hopefully,
lube up the light posts.
lube up all the light poles.
Yeah, those people are the buffoons.
Yeah. All right. Sports gambling time. Let's do it. All right. We got picks for those of you that are. Gosh dang, I keep forgetting every week to say like and subscribe at the beginning of the episode. So that's mistakes by me.
How are we looking after week 1?
Really, really bad.
Yeah,
Oh.
mine was ugly.
Oh, sorry. Are we talking about gambling wise? I'm
Yeah.
dominating y'all, so it's all good.
Wait, isn't it 2-1 and 1-2?
No, I'm 3-0, baby.
You're 3-0. Wow,
3-0,
congrats.
baby.
I'm 2-1, ain't I?
Yeah. Shane and Jonathan are 2-1, and then Blake is
I'm
1-2.
I'm back into my
hey,
wheelhouse. Then
But it's fine.
Hey,
Hey, I went all chalk last weekend, and I loved it, and it worked out for me. And I honestly think that might be the strategy: is just find which college football games are super easy to bet the chalk on.
That's the secret in week 1 of college football. I think is you pick the favorites and humongous spreads.
well, it's
It
also
doesn't even have to be humongous. Like, it's just got to be the ones where, like, for example, Utah versus Florida, where the spread was close, but you got to look at it and be like, hey, Utah is actually a decent football team, and Florida's going to suck.
I really
But
thought Florida would be decent,
But
though.
Florida's got that big name, and so that's what
I really thought Florida would be decent.
But I think it goes for the whole year that you can find chalk lines, maybe not in the top 25, but you can find you some chalk lines in some lower level college football that are pretty much guaranteed, like your UTSAs, that like they're probably going to hit.
Yep. Like in betting, now that we got NFL football coming up, betting NFL football week 1 is a dangerous game.
No, but I took one anyway.
I have 3 games.
Too.
I have 3 games that I love in the NFL.
But yes, if I was a sports gambler, I would bet a ton of college football week 1 games, and then I would bet 0 NFL games, because literally anything could happen, and there's no clue of knowing what's going on. All right, but
you have no idea.
Let's give our picks. All right, Jonathan has his picks in. We will go over them.
Oh no, he doesn't get picks.
No. He gets his 3 picks. He's got his picks in. Well, he hasn't given them to me yet, but he's got his 3 picks, because then he won't ever stand a chance of winning if he misses a week. So I will update those. I will update those, and we will cover those next weekend. But Blake, what do you got going on this week?
I'm taking all the rat lines in the NFL.
Yep.
I have Cincinnati -2.5.
Bold.
I have.
I think the Browns
Philly,
covered both games against the Bengals last year.
This is an overcorrection by Vegas because they covered both. I then have Philly -3.5 against the Patriots.
I mean, there's 0 way. Blake and I talked about this
chance.
before. There's no way they don't cover. There's 0 way they don't cover.
No chance.
They win that game by 20 points.
And then I am taking, this is the only one I'm a little nervous about, but I kind of have faith in, Green Bay +1.5.
Yeah.
I almost took that.
Yep.
I almost took that.
I do not trust Chicago Bears or Justin Fields.
No.
I almost took that.
Shane, what did you take?
I've got this is got to be a lock. I've got Utah -7.5 against Baylor.
That
Okay.
one makes no sense to me
So-
either.
So I talked to Blake about this
That's
before
a
the
rat
podcast.
line if I ever seen one.
I talked to Blake about this before the podcast. You're welcome. I am a gentleman, but I was doing my podcast prep yesterday on Monday, and Utah was only 6-point favorites, and I was like, write it down.
Oh,
for
I'm
sure.
taking it then.
Yeah, but then
give me
I looked at the line today, and I was like, all right, we film it on Tuesday. This is when we do our lines. It's now 7.5.
give me 6. Give me
No, I'm not giving you 6 because
Is
I didn't
Cam
take
Rising
6.
playing?
Even if Cam Rising's not playing, I'll take Utah -6 with their backup.
Yeah. me
Oh,
too.
for sure. Me too. If Cam Rising is playing, I'm taking -13. I'm going alternate line
Yeah.
-13.
Because I mean, I think it is at Baylor, but Baylor looked
They're
bad.
terrible.
They look terrible. They got manhandled by UT or by Texas State.
Yeah, Texas State's best win in program history.
They got legit manhandled.
I think they lost by 21, 42
And they
to
lost their
21.
quarterback. They lost
Yeah.
their quarterback.
Ooh. All right, Shane, what else you got?
So my first two bets, I'm really honestly not that worried about. I got Baltimore -10 against the Texans.
All right, well, there's your loss.
No, I don't see how
Although
that.
Lamar does ball out week 1, I'll give you that.
Then this is the only one, and this is where I'm betting with my heart. I got Alabama -7 against Texas.
Yep. Never bet with your heart.
I'm betting with my heart. Oh, what's his name said? Don't ever bet with your heart, and I'm betting with my
Hey,
heart.
I'll tell you this. You're going to know in the first 2 drives whether you've won that bet or not.
Yeah, yep, I agree.
If Alabama can run the ball against Texas, you're going to know that you won that bet. And if Alabama cannot run the ball in their first 2 drives, you're going to know you've lost that bet. So there you go.
The only reason I took that bet is because it's in Bryant-Denny Stadium.
I don't think Bryant-Denny's a great home field advantage. I really don't.
No, I don't either. But for some
disagree.
reason, I feel
I
like
don't.
I feel like they've been so many times they have gone into half in a close game, and then for some reason after half they have just blown it out.
They are a very they're kind of like Texas. I feel like they're a very corporate feeling. There for the social aspect of it. Football.
Yeah, they're
events.
all in those
Yeah.
goofy ass suits and ties. Like I do agree.
Well, I
with
mean,
that.
there's the students are only a small portion of it.
No, but
I'd say the
there's
regular.
a lot more students at Bryant-Denny than there is at DKR.
Oh, probably so. But the regular fans are honestly, I think, more rowdy than the actual students are. And they're honestly a little more. It's the only time they come out of the sticks. They get one game a year, so they get out of the sticks once a year, so they kind of go a little crazy.
Yeah, they only inbred once a year, so
They're excited.
Money
They're excited for this one though.
I think they are.
They're excited for UT, especially after the national championship games in the past. Like they're excited for this one.
I say that the only reason I chose is because Bryant-Denny, but I also am like, Nick Saban is not gonna let there be any question especially with Texas coming into the SEC next year. He's not even gonna let there be a question as to what is gonna happen in the future.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out Saturday night. I'm excited to watch it.
6 p.m. local.
I'm very excited to watch it.
I will be at my daughter's horse engagement with my phone on watching it.
Tape it on YouTube TV, and just watch it later.
Oh no, I'll be watching it live with
right.
with the ear pod in, whatever
There you
it's
go.
called, the thingy.
The AirPods.
I don't have those. I got the
Oh.
Samsungs.
Okay. The Beats.
Sure.
All right. And I took this week. I'm taking. I really struggled to find my third game after I lost my Utah Utes because I did not want to do the 7.5 because even the 7 hurt, but going to 7.5, that's a number I don't want to cross.
Oh, come on, Austin.
But instead, I'm still going to do a number I don't want to cross. I'm taking the UCF Golden Knights -3.5.
Who are they playing?
I don't remember, but I know they're going to win by 4 points or more.
They can score.
They can score points.
Boise State and Boise
State.
Oh
State.
yeah,
Right.
that's a lock. That's a
No,
lock.
it's in Boise though. That blue turf will really mess with you.
Oh God.
Boise did not look great.
I'm taking Notre Dame -7.
Oh jeez.
That defense looks real, real good. And I'm also taking the Green Bay Packers +1.5 because
Ooh.
the
I should have
Bears,
took it.
the Bears can't be good, right? And
That's my betting strategy until
this
it fails me.
Packers,
I'm
this
betting against the
Packers
Bears.
defense is supposed to be elite.
That's what I keep hearing. That's what I keep hearing.
So we're gonna find out. But
I
really,
honestly didn't take that game because I got screwed on so many rat lines last year that I was like, I'm not touching it. I'm staying away. I should take it.
yeah.
And
I'm
even
really
though
on this
Aaron
team.
Rodgers is gone, the Packers still own the Bears.
Also, I think Jordan Love is better than Justin Fields.
Oh, I think so too.
He just doesn't
That's another
have as
one
good
we'll
of
find
highlight
out.
tape, but I think he's better than him. Also, Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, that offensive line.
Jonathan Taylor, maybe.
I like. Well, I mean, he's not going to play on Sunday, even if he's there. I like Christian Watson.
Is Jonathan Taylor there?
No.
No.
Is that a rumor?
No, that was the rumor. That was like they said there was like a undisclosed team that was interested, which is
Oh, yeah.
crazy because you got
What are they going to do?
AJ
Run the
Dillon.
wishbone?
Yeah, you got AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. Like you don't need Jonathan Taylor. I'm sorry, but you don't. And freaking Aaron Jones restructured his whole contract to be more team friendly. You don't need
He just bought an $8 million house in Miami too. He's living large.
Yeah.
Man, but wouldn't it be great if we saw an NFL team in 2023 run triple option? That'd be so fun.
That would be hilarious. I'd root for that team.
I would be all about
I'd
it.
fire my coach immediately.
Are you kidding me? We got AJ Dillon as the fullback, and then Aaron Jones and Jonathan Taylor as the wingbacks. Oh, it'd be just so much fun to watch.
I got Sean Payton winning no more than 4 games. I've decided.
That's a terrible bet.
You Sean Payton hater all of a sudden?
Yeah,
Nathaniel Hackett, worst coach in NFL history, had more wins.
I've turned heel on Sean Payton the past 2. All the shit he's talked. I'm done with him.
He takes himself a little seriously, I think.
He might be. I mean, he's not because there's much worse, but he might be the biggest douchebag coach in the NFL.
Yeah, he's up there.
He's up there. He's top 5.
Hey. He's one of those coaches like Dan Campbell. I would love to pull up to a bar and sit next to Dan Campbell and drink a beer with him. Sean Payton, he would get on my nerves. I'd walk in,
for sure.
He'd have a freaking martini glass with a drink, and I'd be like, "What is this?"
Dude, if Sean Payton bought me a beer after the past about 2 weeks, if Sean Payton bought me a beer, I'd walk out of the bar. I'd be like, nah, bro.
I don't think he drinks beer. I think he drinks out of martini glasses.
That's a cardinal sin, Shane. If someone buys you a beer, you drink that freaking beer. Don't you dare.
No, I'm out on Sean Payton. Even though he won me a Super Bowl, I'm out on him. I'm done. I can't take it. I honestly, I've never really, besides Lincoln Riley, I've never wished for someone's wife to cheat on him more than Sean Payton.
You know what? I think that's a great place to end it for the night.
I mean, yeah.
There we go. All right.
I'm deep in this tennis game.
Are you watching Tiafoe?
Yeah, I bet on Shelton though. I'm anti Tiafoe.
Tiafoe, I like Tiafoe. He's a dog.
Yeah, I do too. But I saw a dude serving at 149 miles an hour, and I was like, I'm betting on that dude.
Is that pretty good in tennis? I have no idea.
Yes,
pretty fast.
That's very, very fast.
I saw it happen twice in a row 2 days ago, and I was literally like, that was the fastest ball I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
it was incredible.
That's impressive that they.
I don't know how they're returning it. I don't know how they return it.
They figured
Me and
it out.
Blake were kind of tennis sticks in. Well, no, we sucked in middle school playing together, so never mind.
We were racket heads.
Yeah.
All right, but we're excited. Next week is when it begins. Next week we will be doing 2 episodes per week: a college football episode and a professional football episode. Okay, we'll have actual NFL week 1 and college football week 2 to talk about. Hopefully, we will be coming to you after another solid Texas A&M victory. But until then, drink some Coors Light. Tell somebody you love them. We'll see you next time on the Football's King podcast.